Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the TradeXchange Week Ahead webinar. First, just want to wish all the mothers out there a happy Mother's Day. A quote from George Washington: "All I am, I owe to my mother." Happy Mother's Day, everyone. And now a quick look at last week. Yet again, members, another lackluster week in these markets with one of the lowest volume weeks so far. This is the fourth week we have had non-eventful trading weeks, even with all the headlines, economic data, debt ceiling talk, earnings. Earnings season with one of the strongest we've seen as of late. The average beat came in at over 78%, above the 10-year average of 73%. Markets are continuing to trade in a very tight range. The past week, the NASDAQ was the only one trending higher, helped by Google, following the release of their AI search platform. Inflation continues to trend lower, but at a very slow pace. We had CPI come in at 4.9% and core inflation at 5.5%. Fed's Jefferson said that core inflation prices are continuing to be discouraging. Energy markets continue to see weakness as the oil slide continues. One tidbit from Friday, we saw a bounce in nat gas, following the rig count release as more nat gas rigs were taken offline than usual. Nat gas has seen the worst decline of all commodities all year so far. We saw weakness in Bitcoin. Headlines from Binance continue as they discuss the Canadian markets as well as U.S. markets, and rumors that the U.S. government had a large sale in their Bitcoin holdings, which added to that mild sell-off. Even though many Bitcoin blogs stated that the U.S. government did not sell any part of the stake, the volatility did continue on Bitcoin throughout the week. This week is filled with Fed speakers, a total of 15 that are scheduled, with who knows how many additional interviews are on their agenda. Oh, yeah, you can't forget the debt ceiling talk. That clearly is a thorn on the side of the market. And the mindset is, will we have to see a sharp drop in markets for Washington to start actually negotiating a debt ceiling? We'll see what happens. As we all know, that as of right now, the clear cut is no debt ceiling agreement on the horizon. And we'll see if the market can influence our government to figure out a solution sooner rather than later. One thing to keep in mind going into these Fed Speaks, members, after hours on Friday, we had Fed's Barkin come out with some comments. We will leave you with these on our recap and then go into the week ahead review. From Fed's Barkin, I am very open to more rate hikes. I still want to be convinced inflation is easing. So, members, our week ahead, May 15th, upcoming U.S. and world events, a few earnings left in the agenda. We do have retail, focusing on Home Depot, HD, Target, TGT, TJX, TJ Maxx, WMT, Walmart. We also have Cisco, CSCO, and DRDE. On Monday, as you can see, Fed Speak on the agenda. Tuesday, Fed Speak on the agenda. On the U.S. side, we do have retail sales, industrial production, and business inventories. Overseas, we'll be watching Canada's CPI and Japan's GDP. Wednesday, U.S. housing starts and permits. As of right now, members, on Wednesday, one of the only days that we do not have Fed Speak scheduled. Keep that in mind. The key word is scheduled. Thursday, we have Fed Speak, Jefferson Bar, and Logan. Initial jobless claims, existing home sales, Philly manufacturing index, and overseas, the Japan CPI. Friday, Fed Speak, Bowman, Powell, and Williams. and overseas Germany's CPI. Company events for the week, as always, members, a big, busy week on analyst calls and annual meetings, as well as top conferences. Full list for the week. If anyone always comments or concerns or questions, reach out to us via email or ask the desk that is inside the news desk. U.S. economic calendar for the week. Look at this, members. We have more red than actual economic events almost. On Monday, we have Fed speaks, Bostich, Kaskari, Barkin, and Cook. Tuesday, we'll be waiting for retail sales, industrial production, housing market index. But yet again, we have Fed speak, Mester, Bostic, Barr, Williams, and Logan. Wednesday seems like to be the day that it will be a slow day for now. Just econ data, housing starts and permits. Thursday, industrial jobs claims, Philly Fed, existing home sales, leading indicators. Yet again, Fed speak, Jefferson, Barr, and Logan. Friday, Fed speak, Williams, Bowman, and Powell. And we have the Baker Hughes recount for your oil and nat gas traders in the afternoon. Your top economic calendar for the week, international wise, a Fed schedule breakdown, members, of when they're speaking and at what event, and a week ahead TradeX commentary. Members, this is your earnings list. As you can see, Monday's basically one of the last full days of earnings. And then we have breakdowns throughout the week with some big names still coming throughout the week. Fear and greed index, the greed continues to take hold. We had greed for at least a month now in a row, and we are watching this as markets are in a very interesting tight range. We've been discussing that, members, for quite some time, that we believe that this market is waiting for a very big move in one direction or the other. As this range continues to be built, we'll show you more on that on the charts coming up. Industry comparisons, NASDAQ still up over 17.5%. S&P still up over 7%. The Dow barely up around 1 to 2%. Weekly sector performance, as well as your probabilities, as always, your AAII investor sentiment survey. We did see a little bump on the bullish mindset and a drop on the bearish mindset this week on your investment sentiment survey. Year-to-date percent returns, members, sugar continues to stay up top with NASDAQ still right there up about 17.5%. Gold still up 10%. Coffee a little downtick this week, but still up 9%. Your weakness continues to be in energy, with heating oil down about 32% and nat gas down close to 50% on the year. Your sector outlook weekly, IPO lockup expirations, expected IPOs, and your FDA calendars for the week. Now, a quick look at your charts, and then a few quick questions. We did adjust the timing of this as it is Mother's Day. We wanted everyone to enjoy the day, celebrate, and that's why we're doing a very quick early morning one. We'll be sending it out and posting in the news desk. Gold, no changes to the chart. That 2,000 level continues to be a key level on watch. We continue to trade above it, and the bulls need that volume to stay with a strong upside move to continue. If we start to build back around this range, we're back into the mindset of who's going to win, the bulls or the bears. As of right now, the bulls are in charge. We'll see if they can continue that charge higher. SPY daily, no changes to the chart. There's a clear range being built here, members. Interesting, we wanted to correlate with past movements. Over here, in June of last year, we saw a little range being built, a vicious move to the downside. Back later in August, a little range and a strong move to the upside. Then we had over here another range, downside move, another range down. So we're watching these ranges very closely to see which direction the markets are looking to go. But as of right now, we are continuing to build in this range for the past few weeks. NASDAQ, no changes to the chart. This one, though, is the only strong chart that we've seen across the indices spectrum. There's no change to the chart, but the chart did break above that resistance line. One thing, though, that we did notice they did see a little bearish reversal to end the week. So we'll see what happens this week on the NASDAQ. Will it continue to stay above its resistance, or will this bearish reversal show that weakness, and also that uptrend is still in play? SPY daily on a moving average and trend look, triple Qs, IWMs, and your 10-year yield daily. Another look at your 10-year yield daily breakdown. No changes to the chart members, continuing to build this range. It's a pattern being built here, and not just in the indices. It's being built across a lot of other areas. The 10-year yield building this range, downtrend, resistance support. We're watching very closely that 3.4 to 3.6% for any upside or downside move. Diamonds daily on a moving average and trend look. IWMs, one of the weaker of the bunch, but still in a range. No changes to the chart. What a test we have been seeing in this IWM. Tested resistance, bounced up support, and now almost a perfect test of the downtrend. Almost a perfect test of the downtrend. So we're watching this very closely and seeing how IWM reacts to any of these Fed speaks for the week. HYG daily on a moving average and trend look. S&P 500, another range-bound move. No changes to this chart. We're still in this tight range between 4,000 and 4,200. We continued to hover around that 4,100 level, that resistance support level. Ended the week at 4,124. This week, as we mentioned, it's all about the Fed. We'll see how that will correlate into any moves in your S&P 500. VIX, who knows what's going on with the VIX? The market doesn't even know what's going on with the VIX. People don't understand what's going on with the VIX. We'll see if the VIX does have any indication this week on any movement. But right now, we're looking at an area of quote unquote no fear. But remember, just keep in mind the VIX on an old basis, old mindset basis, was trading in the 10s to 14. So clearly, we're in an area right now where we can see either direction in the VIX and either direction correlating to the markets. Oil, no changes to the chart. Do we even have to say anything here? Just look at this chart, members. We tested resistance. Keep in mind, this is no change. Tested resistance basically exactly, and ended the week right on support levels, basically exactly that 70 level. So right now we're watching both support and resistance levels for any indication on a directional move in oil. US dollar, no changes to the chart, members, but one thing, after weeks, I get to change the thought process on the US dollar. We are slowly breaking out of this 1+ month range we saw built between the 101s to the 102s. We ended the week at 102.705, and now we await next week for a conviction break above that level or a test and a bearish reversal. So we're watching this very closely, members. We have a downtrend break, a range break, but we need that volume area to continue on this upside move to test the upside resistance. Watching it very closely on the US dollar, as it could dictate other directional moves in other areas of the market. Bitcoin, no change to the chart. Last week, we mentioned how we tested resistance and could not break through, which was that 30,000 level. What did we get following that test? A reversal, breaking not one, but two support levels to end at 26,450. At one point, we broke below 26,000. You can see a downtrend being formed, but we are waiting for next week for a more defined move. So we're watching this very closely on Bitcoin going into this week. SMH daily and your euro. We added a short-term support at the 108 level. So what do we see here? We tried to break 110 support resistance for about 1 month. It was unsuccessful. We had high of 10948. We could not break above that level resistance. We tested it, and then we saw a bearish turn. We ended the week at 1.0848. Keep in mind, we are trending to this next level support, but also a very important uptrend that we're watching closely for any directional downside move. Keep in mind, this uptrend is now broken. We did break it a few weeks back, but didn't see that volume that we were expecting on a upside trend break. Saw the volume come in this week as we see these two large downticks and that upside move in the US dollar. Watching the euro very closely. 108's support, that uptrend at a lower level, but watched very closely on the euro for a possible directional move. So, members, this week we do have a very busy Fed week. As you saw, members, it's filled with red. And keep in mind, this is not even including the unscheduled interviews or commentary that is usually done throughout the week as well. We want to thank everyone for being a part of the Trade Exchange. As always, members, we'll always value any thoughts, input, recommendations. We are working on finalizing a brand new UI interface of the Trade Exchange news desk that will include our Trade Exchange community room. We're very excited for that. We're just cleaning up a few things and hope to have a beta look within the next week for all our members so they can get an idea of what's coming on the Trade Exchange side. A couple of questions that we get every week, and then we'll be closing this week's down. Our thoughts on the markets. Members, we believe this market is waiting for something. They're building these ranges across the board in a lot of indices. And if you are a technical trader, you know the longer the range that is being built, the bigger the move that is coming. So we're watching this closely. We've had a lot of economic data, a lot of earnings, a lot of Fed commentary, debt ceiling commentary, headlines over in Ukraine and Russia, headlines with China, and yet the market is not giving us any wind of a directional move. We have the positives and the negatives, members, so it's not just a negative mindset. On the earnings front, very strong this past quarter, yet the inflation continues to be a hindrance on the mindset of many. So maybe that's the thought process. Everything is leveling itself out. But clearly, as we all know, eventually a direction will be shown. And at that point, we have to make a decision on how to play that market. But as of right now, this week, we're focusing a lot on Fed speak. It's going to be interesting to see what the CPI report, what the strength in earnings, how that could correlate into the thought process of many of these Fed speakers. We heard some from last week. We had Fed's Barkin at the end of the day, Fed's Jefferson. It's, we'll see what the rest say in regards to recent headlines. And hopefully we'll get a better indication going into the summer in regards to a possible directional move in the markets. But that's our thought process. It's all about the Fed this week. A few economic things that we'll be watching with the retail sales. Clearly, see how the consumer is doing. Some of these housing data throughout the week. But our focus, members, is the Fed. Clearly, and we'll see if they have any impact on this week's trading. Since earnings season is basically over, we have a few large retailers left and a few key economic data points for the week. And that's basically our thought process when it comes to the week ahead. And what we're watching and waiting to hear is all about the Fed. So, members, we want to thank everyone, as always. Enjoy this weekend. Happy Mother's Day again to all the mothers out there. We value everything you all do. Thank you again to all our members. Enjoy the day. Check the news desk to get yourself ready for Monday's open. Thank you. TradeXchange out.